Starting is the hardest part with anything you do. Anything you ever do in your life, starting the beginning phase is pretty much the only part that's difficult. You know, like a lot of people, they have anxiety over certain things, right? Like we all have our bouts of anxiety. We all know people who have anxiety disorders. We all know people who have depression. We all know people who suffer from, OCD tendencies, whatever the mental illness is you choose. Starting is always the most difficult part. And it seems like once you can just get the tires moving, once you can get the wheels moving, everything else from that point on is a piece of cake. Like there's something about rhythm, right? There's something about getting into the feel of it that is unstoppable. It's like when you remember when you were a child, or not even when you were a child, but do you remember when you would just think about the last time you made a snowman? This sounds super cheesy, but it's super applicable for the world that we live in. You remember when you built the snowman and you were looking, you had snow, right? Obviously. See, this is the issue with me is I start trying to sound like intelligent and then I say things like that really like that makes me mad that I said that. That makes me upset that I had to state that you look for snow. I shouldn't have to say that. Google's been carbon neutral since 2007. But the hardest part is getting the snow together in a compact ball and being able to roll it up to a point where it's sizable, where it's strong enough, it's dense enough that it doesn't break as you're spinning it. And but once you get the ball rolling, once you get the snow compacted together, it becomes easy. It's almost like there's no way to stop it, right? There's no way to stop the ball from developing into a big ball so you can use it as a base of a snowman. And it sounds super cheesy, it sounds dumb, but I do think that there's a lot of value in that. There's so many times in our life where we're nervous and we're scared and where we have this fear. This fear it could be directed anywhere. It could be directed a new job. It can be directed going back to school. Like in my case, the embarrassment you have of going back to school. It can be like you messed up and you know that you're going to get in trouble by your boss or your parents or your significant other. The biggest fear is the fear's never wrapped around the event itself. It's beginning the event. It's the unknown, right? Like the unknown for chimps and humans is the scariest thing. That's why death is so debilitating. Like the idea of dying it ruins people. It really does. It ruins people. But the beginning phases of anything you do is going to be the hardest part, and you almost have to be reckless and irresponsible when it comes to it. You almost have to be able to kind of just put on blinders and just dive right into it. Get the snow and just start making the snowball. If you have a new job, just get there, park your car, and walk into the building. Like something that I do that helps me tremendously, and it sounds super cheesy, it sounds super corny, and it's probably, not the healthiest thing, but I've been saying this a lot lately to people because I don't know what it is, but people do ask me for advice, and it's weird. I don't know where I went, where I've become that person, because for me, I'm always asking advice from like my girlfriend Taylor, like all the time, and it's the one thing that's helped me tremendously. Like whenever I'm anxious about anything or I'm nervous about whatever it is, a job, work, same thing. School, like for me right now, one of my biggest orbs of fear is school, right? I have classes where I have to depend on other classmates and I have these projects I have to do and I have to do a pitch for an entrepreneurship business idea, and I have to do this and I have to do that. And it's scary, right? Because you feel overwhelmed. And I remember as a child, young, like 10 years old, even younger than that. The thing that helped me the most, knowing if I had a spelling test coming up, or if I had a history test coming up, or if I had a math test coming up, to be fair, I also would use resources, outside resources, to pass these certain tests. But the one thing that always helped me the most was time. And not just how much time do I have, but knowing that time will eventually end, right? Like, so if let's say it's Sunday night, I'm going to bed, I'm 12 years old. Not 12, I'm 15 years old, right? I'm a freshman in high school, sophomore in high school, and I have an exam. I have a math exam on Friday, and I'm super nervous, right? It's Sunday. I have 5 days to prepare for it. But I'm nervous. I don't want to fail the exam. It's not even about failing the exam. It's about the embarrassment of failing the exam. It's about having to explain to people why you failed the exam. It's about, classmates comparing grades off of exams, which I think is detrimental, but I also think it's necessary. The one thing I would always do, I would lay in bed and I'd be like, it's Sunday, I have a test Friday. I would be like, Saturday will be here. Like Saturday will come. And there's nothing I could do to stop that. I can't freeze time. I can't freeze time and I can't do that. So Friday will come and the test will be here and it will be done and it will be over with. And then I'll wake up Saturday. And no matter what the results are on Friday, Saturday will be here. And that for me helped me so much. It didn't, I think I say that to people and then they get afraid. Well, what if I do bad? Well, what if you do bad? The world doesn't end, right? Saturday will come and you will wake up and you will have coffee and you might fail the exam, right? Or you might do really well on the exam. But that right there is the technique that I still use to this day, that has completely eliminated the fear, like most of the fear that I have towards newer things. Like for the podcast, for example, when I first started this podcast, it was super overwhelming, right? Like everything you guys see around me, I didn't know what to do. Like I didn't know what a boomstick was. I still don't. I just have one. I didn't know what a good microphone was. I didn't even know what Shure was. That's the name of this microphone. I didn't know, do you need studio lights? Do you not need studio lights? I still don't know if I need studio lights. Do I need a backdrop? I don't know if I need a backdrop or not. How do I record audio? What do I just use my phone? What if do I just use a camera? I could just use a camera, but I guess the quality wouldn't be as good. Once I started uploading, looks like audio is doing a lot better than YouTube. I didn't anticipate that. Just all these sudden changes. And if I took all those ideas, it's almost like ignorance allows you to grow at all. Without ignorance, I don't think you would expand, right? Because you'd be too worried about everything. It's almost like ignorance is bliss. Intelligence seems like it stops you from progressing. I know for me, like if I look at something, I look at the worst results. And if I was just ignorant to it, like for the podcast, for example, if I just didn't know what any result was going to be, like thank God I was, it allowed me to take on issues when they would arise. It would allow me to expand when I needed to. Like one of the biggest things that I messed up on at the beginning, which I advise anybody who creates content. I don't care if it's TikTok. I don't care if it's Instagram. I don't care if it's Twitter, YouTube, podcasting, whatever it is. You need to back up everything you have. The content that you put out there is your content, right? Like for me with podcasting, I didn't start backing up my podcast. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna look real quick. I think I was literally deleting my content for like the first, 30 episodes maybe. And that right there is like literally the worst thing you could possibly do is delete your content. But if I never would have known that if I didn't start the podcast. Let me pull it up real quick. Podcast audio goes all the way back to episode. Oh, that's depressing. Goes all the way back to episode 74, man. I didn't start backing up my podcast to episode 74. So that means episode 1 all the way to 162 or up 1 to 73 is deleted. This is not mine. It's gone. It's out in the atmosphere. But it's stuff like that you learn. And the only way you learn those things is if you start, you just got to start. You got to start building the snowman. You can't, the anxiety and the fear comes from the anticipation of the event. So the best thing you do is just hit the ground running. Start the event as soon as possible and understand that you might fail. But that's the beauty of it. In my opinion, that's the beauty of it. That's where growth lies. Growth lies literally right over the hill of failure. That's where growth is. And that's why you see so many people in your life. Like, you see people all the time around you where you're just like, why is that person still there? Why aren't they budging? Well, it's because the mountain, I'm not trying to sound like a motivational guru, because I'm not. I don't, that stuff doesn't, I have different opinions on that, but I don't thrive off of the motivational stuff. Not saying it's all nonsense. I think a lot of it is true, and I think a lot of people need it. I think it's a diving board for a lot of people. But at the same time, I think it can be detrimental, because people who need that stuff lean on that stuff super hard, and then their whole life goes by, and they have an engine that's fueled with awesome, gas. Like, they have the best intentions, but they don't have the ability to actually apply everything that they've learned to the event to progress in the future. So you see a lot of people like that. You're like, why isn't that person progressing? Well, they know what to do, but they don't know how to start it, because starting will paralyze you. Overanalyzing, paralysis over paralysis. Overanalyzing leads to paralysis. And I know that was the issue I had with the clothing company. And I started it, but I started it. It was successful. I closed it down. I learned so many things. So now when I go in these entrepreneur pitches, I can give a completely different side to the professor. I can give a completely different side to the students, because I actually started a business. Like, I started a legit business, a clothing business, thousands of dollars, a company that made thousands of dollars a month. Right? Like, it was semi-successful. And if I just continue to keep on looking at, like, the business plan and all this fun stuff, I would have never started it. And that's dangerous. But I think the mountain of failure is so big, right? And I think people tread it so softly that they don't ever get over it. Right? And then they stop. But meanwhile, all the answers and all the corrections are literally over the other side. And all you have to do is walk up it. But walking up it can be scary. But you just got to keep walking up it. I'm telling you, it's there. It's there. You just got to keep moving up. But that's that. That's kind of like it's Tuesday, man. We got to, come on. Tuesday. We got to get this ball rolling. Yeah, snowing outside, a little bit of ice, a little bit of snow, whatever. Cool. Awesome. But let's just keep moving. Let's all keep moving. Let's all keep reading. Let's all keep motivating each other, right? Let's all keep being a family and keeping people accountable. Keep yourself accountable. A few things I want to talk about. Happy Tuesday to everybody out there. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you stayed safe. I know the snow was a little aggressive. It was icy. It was rough. Like, I went out Monday morning, and I had to de-ice the car, and it was cold, man. It's dangerous out there, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? Just drive slow and you'll crash softly. Just hit the guardrail nice and softly. Just kiss the guardrail. Don't speed up and hit the guardrail. Just, even if you're about to hit somebody, if you go slowly, they might be able to maneuver out of the way. They get that little fight or flight, and they jump on over. It's not your fault. It's the ice fault. Just drive slowly so you can get in a slow accident. Drive a big car so you'd be all right. Just watch out for those plows, dude. I couldn't imagine getting in an accident with the plow. You just remove your head. could you imagine? You're just driving along, do, and a plow comes. You hit the brake because you're scared, and then you slide off to the side, and the plow just decapitates you. That's not funny. I shouldn't laugh at that. Mike, what are you doing? Why are you laughing at things like that? That's a reality for a lot of people. I know. But comedy, man. God, man, people need to laugh more. God, we need more laughter in this world. We cannot let comedy die. Elon Musk said, "Don't let comedy die." He put out some tweet like that. We can't, man. We gotta keep laughing. Things are hilarious. And, I was watching the Dave Chappelle special, not the Sticks and Stones, but the one that he did before, the one he filmed out of Washington, D.C. And I'm watching this with my girlfriend, and then we watched Taylor Tomlinson, and then we watched Nikki Glazer. And there's something so beautiful about people taking the most tragic things of their life and joking about it and laughing about it. And I understand that there is this world of PC culture, and we shouldn't laugh because we're laughing on someone else's suffering. I get it. Like, I understand. I know we shouldn't laugh towards other people's suffering, right? But my God, laughter is the original SSRI. Laughter is the original Xanax of the world. And I don't know how laughter and comedy really works. I don't know what makes people laugh. I don't know if it's irony. I don't know if it's a moment in their life that if you can just take you could take the batteries and connect them, if it turns on this spark, and that spark is laughter. I don't know exactly what it is. But the people in your life, think about it. Just close your eyes real quick. If you're driving, watch out for the plow. Keep your eye open. I'm not responsible if you close your eyes, you dumbass. Like, if you're closing your eyes and you're driving because I'm saying close your eyes, that's on you. That's not my fault. I do not claim responsibility for that at all. You're a dumbass. Don't do that. But think about it. Think about it. Think about the people in your life that don't laugh. Think about the people in your life that are always so uptight about everything. Say what you want about former President Donald Trump, but oh my God, was he not the most entertaining president we have ever seen? I understand his words created violence, and I understand he hurt minority groups, and I understand all these things. I understand how I'm emphasizing my white privilege by saying this, but my God, he made it hilarious. His Twitter page was the funniest thing in the world. I want them to bring him back. I want them to bring him back for the comedian aspect. The dude was just leveling people on Twitter. He was going after no-name journalists. He was calling women just crazy horse face. He was saying grab him by the pussy. This guy was he was berserk. He was nuts. He created this show, and it was funny. It was entertaining. And people who can't recognize the comedy behind things, that's bad. That's not good. I'm telling you right now, if you know somebody in your life who you can make who it does not laugh at things, out the door, man. Out the door. If you can't listen to somebody else laugh about their suffering, I understand therapy. I understand it's not good. I'm understanding you're laughing because you're privileged. I'm not dumb. I read a book. I'm not dumb. But I also think that I think that the world, there's a direct correlation. I'm a scientist, by the way. There's a direct correlation between the decrease of laughter and the anger of people. That laughter needs to be going up at all times, man. And from 2016 to 2020, laughter was at an all-time high because Donald Trump was just ripping on people every day. You know how many comedians right now blew up their career because of that guy? Not like blew up like bad, but like blew up as in good. Think about all the journalists that had no job before he was in office. they're now like the most famous journalists in the world, right? Like he was just a tornado of chaos. And then he gets out of office. He's like, "Screw you guys. I'm out. I'm going to my 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 mansion in Florida, Palm Springs or wherever it is, and I'm just gonna smoke cigars, bang hookers, and hit golf balls." And yeah, they're gonna try to sue me, but I'm 73. I'm gonna be dead anyways in 10 years. Like I don't care. That's also kind of embarrassing how we're still trying to impeach this guy. Meanwhile, people are losing money every single day because we're distracted over stimulus is being held up because people want to impeach this guy. The dude's out of office, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Is the vendetta that much that we're willing to let people who need money just go without it? Like I'm serious. I'm serious here. And like all these cities are opening up again. Like this is something that I think needs to be talked about, and I think it's dangerous for people to talk about. Therefore, I will talk about it because I think it is dangerous to talk about, and I like to talk about dangerous things. Now, I don't know. I'm not into whatever. I like conspiracy theories, right? They're entertaining. They make it Saturday afternoon go a little bit quicker than anticipated. But everything is opening back up again. And I want to so badly, and I'm going to play a big what if game. A big what if game. Like, come join me with the what if game if you want to play it with me. But the whole country is starting to open back up again, right? Chicago, California, Maryland, New York. These places are starting to open up again. What is today? February 1st. It's been a month. It's been a month since the new president's been elected. Now, is it just a coincidence that things were locked down tooth and nail in all these cities across the country for 10 straight months with the vaccine out, because the vaccine was out? Is it just a coincidence that the moment somebody leaves office and the moment the other guy enters office, things start opening back up? I want to believe that it is a coincidence. I want to believe that that's true. Right, I don't want to believe that the other option that they leveraged people's livelihoods, they leveraged people's money, income, they leveraged these people's health and life to embarrass and throw more dirt on someone, Donald Trump's name. And the trade-off was people committing suicide and suffering more from mental illness and losing their businesses. I really want to believe that it is a coincidence, and I want to believe that we did get to a point where the vaccines are coming out tremendously quicker. And I don't want to believe that there was communication and that they used it as a political ploy. I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that. But at the same time, you sit back and you go like, that's weird. What a weird timeline. Why did that happen? That's a weird timeline. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's worrisome, and I don't want that to be true. I don't want that to cancel me. I'm not famous enough to get canceled. Not famous at all. Fame scares the crap out of me, dude. I was having this conversation with one of my coworkers, and we were talking about fame, right? And they said that fame wouldn't affect them. Right? Someone's cutting something. They could deal with it. I never realized that starting this podcast, I never realized that there was even a possibility of fame, right? And it's weird to watch as this podcast grows month in and month out. There's this weird space I'm in right now where people know I do the podcast, right? Everyone around me knows I have a podcast. Some of them listen to it. Some of them listen to every episode. Some of them don't listen to it at all. Some of them might listen to it once a month. Somebody might listen to it on a specific day of the week. Somebody might have a conversation with somebody else about the podcast I listen to. So people know I do this podcast. People listen to it. I can see the numbers. I can see where my biggest supporters are. I can see all this stuff. I can see the sex, the gender, Same thing. I think. Don't cancel me for. No. I think sex is biological. Gender is not biological. See, I'm not arrogant or ignorant. I'm aware of this. I understand. I used to say that they were the same thing, but since I'm not dumb anymore, I know. I know that there's a huge difference. Dude, what about that market? I'm going to get into that. I will. I'll get into the stock market because I know I think I put that in I don't know what I put in the title. Dude, I don't know. I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore, man. What was I saying? Oh yeah. It's like at this weird place right now where people know I do the podcast, but there's always this possibility of something going viral, right? Something I say kind of going crazy. When you put enough, I talk for 90 minutes a week, right? An hour and a half a week, hour and a half times 52. I don't know, 90 minutes. Let's do quick math real quick. I'm a smart guy. I could do this. Let's just say 40 minutes. 40 minutes of podcast, 80 minutes a week. So 80 minutes. Because I do 40 minutes of podcasts. I do 2 podcasts a week. That's 80 minutes a week. So 80 times 52 equals 4160 divided by, that's minutes, divided by 60. So I speak for, that's hilarious, 69 hours. So I put 69 hours of me talking out there, right? So I'm going to say something that could catch the eyes of a lot of people, the ears of a lot of people. It could go kind of nuts. And then people know who I am. And that is something I never rationalized. Like, I never thought about that. But that idea of being famous scares the living daylights out of me. There's nothing I want more than not to be famous. I don't want people to know who I am. I don't want people to recognize me in the streets. I don't want people to know any of that. And there's this weird thing I was kind of thinking about when I was doing this. I was like, there's no other. I love doing the podcast. I love talking to people. I love getting feedback. I love watching it grow. I do. I like numbers. I like the possibility of income coming from the podcast, which already is a little bit, not much, but I like these things, right? But what I didn't think about, which I think is the devil's advocate, which I think comes with anything that you do in life, there's always things that you love, things that you hate about, whatever it is, fill in the blank, whatever it is. The devil's advocate with this is the possibility of becoming famous and people recognizing you. And that scares, I would not be that, like my friend said, not be bothered by it. I would be bothered by it. I would hate that. I would hate that so much. The money side, what are you gonna do? I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. I could be kidding. I don't know. You don't know if I'm kidding, right? You can't tell anymore. You just don't. You don't know anymore, dude. You don't know. So that's that. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I was driving back from the gym this morning, and I live in a weird. So my parents, I stay at my girlfriend's house, right? But I come home during the day to my parents' house because I obviously do the podcast twice a week, and this is kind of my desk where I do homework, right? I do all my work here at this desk. This is kind of like my little hangout, right? This is my space. I got my candles, I got my waters, I got my Christmas lights, I got my books that make me look smart. I got everything. And when I'm in class, I want this little sign right here that says Michael Oz Podcast to be sticking up so people go ahead and watch my podcast. So I cross promote, right? I'm not dumb. I know what I'm doing. I cross promote, son. But I live kind of out in the country when I'm at my parents' house, right? And like suburb country, like what would I say? Like yeah, I guess suburb country, but not like, yes, that's a perfect name. Yeah, I live out in the suburbs, but country suburbs. There's strawberries are being grown. There's, cows being slaughtered. There's pigs being shot. Not shot, but killed. There's turkeys being shot. There's a tremendous amount of white people. Like, that's where I live. There's just white people everywhere. You go anywhere, the white people. White person there, white person there, white people here, white people everywhere. A lot of churches too. A lot of churches here too. That's where I live. No, one gas station, one grocery store. That's a convenience store, so not a grocery store unless you want to get out of date chicken eggs or you want to get chicken that's expired. But yeah, that's where I live. But also where I live, there's a farm that I don't know if it raises. I don't know why. Does it kill them? I hope it doesn't kill them. That would suck. but they have buffalo, right? They have like legit, like, I'm dumb, but yeah, they have buffalo. And these buffalo, they walk around, and I think they have a few that are like, I've never seen multiple big buffalo together, but this morning I've seen like baby buffaloes, and I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's kind of hilarious. They put up like these little fences, and the buffaloes they have fear of the fences, so they don't run through them. But if they wanted to, they could just run right through the fences, which I've never thought about till right now. But it snowed, right? It snowed here, and it was a moment where I was going through like this Native American phase where I was just reading about Native American tribes and how brutal some of them were and how brutal white people were to them, and just like the reign of terror that they put down on white people, and vice versa. Just the brutality of brutality. Is that a word? I think that's a word. It's a word today. It's a word for Michael Lab's podcast. But yeah, the brutality of what they did. And Native Americans, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. And there was a tribe that would just destroy buffalo, like just take them out by the thousands. They would run buffalo off of cliffs. There's some studies to show that even they created Great Plain fires because of, I don't know exactly how it happened. You can look it up. The buffalo, let me look it up real quick. Dead buffalo fires. 3 dead following early morning fire. Dead buffalo. Did dead buffalo create fires? Bonfire shelter, buffalo, the plunge of death. Bonfire shelter, the butch. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. All about bison. Why did they kill buffalo? What archaeologists and others call bison jump was, of course, not a jump at all. It was, at least from the buffalo's perspective, a terrifying plunge of death. Exactly how Native Americans hunters engineer the bison stampedes at bonfire shelter would never be known. God, they just threw him off the side of the cliff. That's crazy, man. Maybe I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to say it because I don't know if it's true. In the space of a minute or less, dozens, or in some cases hundreds of bison plummeted down the cliff. They fell about 75 feet and landed on the corner-shaped pile of rocks that occurred directly beneath the niche. Dude, that's wild. Oh my God. That's crazy, dude. They would just... Oh, it's permanently closed? That's lame. Just murder these buffalo. Just jumping off the side of the cliff. That's crazy, dude. Anyways, I digress. Anyways, this is awesome buffalo, and I always look at it. But today it was super cool because like the what's his face was kind of slowed down. The trash man was kind of slowed down right there. And so I slowed down behind him, and I was looking at the buffalo, and it was so cool to see in the snow, right? I stopped. He kept on going, so I stopped and looked at him. And it was so neat to see. He was like huff and puff, and he would go like that, like a buffalo before they run over your ass. And it was so cool to see. And he started galloping, and it was just so wild. Like I feel like I was like, I should hunt him. Give me something. I'll stab him. He would wreck me. But it was cool. It was cool to see that. It kind of brought me back to nature a little bit. That's why I think that's why people burn candles, fire. I think that's why people put plants in the room, anything that brings you back to nature. But before I let you guys go, I do want to cover the topic that's been going on. What does it say? We put salt out and shovel the mage. So I'll continue that process once I get to the club. Cool. I do kind of just want to finish up this podcast real quick, so at least I can get to what the title says a little bit. The one thing I do want to talk about real quick is what happened last week, literally all week. Monday to Friday, it happened all week. First off, I do want to just acknowledge that I am going to say now, I missed out on the GameStop GameStop stock pop. I went ahead and I almost bought it back in, it must have been right after their quarterly earnings came out, and they were really bad. Oh no, they were really good, but the stock didn't jump. It jumped to like $11. And I told my coworker, I was like, dude, I should buy this because what I still do now, I don't do it as much, but what you can do, and I still, before I get into it, I still use Robinhood. But what you can do is you can see the daily movers, whatever dropped the most. Sometimes if you look at it, you can buy it because if it drops 30, and I'm not giving you financial advice, by the way, I'm not a financial advisor at all, an AF. What are the advice finance? I don't know. I have avocados on my socks. Don't ever take advice from somebody who puts avocados on their socks. That's a bad idea. That's a recipe for disaster. But what was I saying? Crap, what was I saying? Avocados on my socks. Oh yeah. So I didn't buy it. Because I just own weed, technology, QQQ, THCX, S&P, Vanguard, and QQQJ, which is the next. It's the Nasdaq top 100 next tech companies like baby. It's a baby QQQ. And I think there's a lot of room for growth there, and I think it's the future of the world. Anyways, I digress. But what happened was is basically this guy on Reddit, Wall Street Bets, and I'm sure you guys have heard about it. Wall Street Bets had he had a couple million followers on Reddit, and over a week it blew up to 9 million people that were following him. And he or she, I think it was a he. It seems like a very he thing to do. It's very not saying that women aren't successful, but just this like the chaos. Maybe I'm being very sexist here, and I apologize to all women who would do that and all men who wouldn't do that. I deeply apologize. I'm being very un-PC right now. But basically what happened is you got a Twitter page. Celebrities got into it. They bought up the stock of GameStop. The stock popped to $300, $350, $400 as it was going up. Hedge fund managers were buying it lower. They had to continue to buy it because the more it went up, the more they were losing. So they had to keep buying it so they could at least drag it down a little bit, because if they weren't buying it, it would just fly up. The higher it goes, the lower they bought it because they shorted it. They would lose that much money. I think that's what was going on. And Robinhood is an app that you can buy and sell just like that, which I think is one of the things why they are super popular. You can buy and sell whenever you want and very quickly. It's one of the things that also they get a lot of hate on because it leads to impulse buys, and kids are, people should have time to think about it because they don't know it's real money, because it doesn't seem like real money, because it's buttons and blah, blah, blah. I've talked about that before. But the way Robinhood works is it takes 2 or 3 days for your money to clear your bank, right? So in order for you to buy a stock at $2, you buy it, right? It takes 2 or 3 days for Robinhood to go to your bank account and take that money out and pop it in your bank account. So what do you do in the meantime? Well, they have like basically a cash house where they go in and they take $2. They basically loan it to you. They loan it from the place, and then your bank pays the cash house, right? So what was happening is, as the GameStop stock was going, this trend, this Reddit thing, it was blowing up. It was bigger than ever, and 9 million people, most people on Robinhood. I think 56% of the users. Someone told me the stat. I didn't look it up. You can look it up. 56% of users on Robinhood had stock in GameStop, right? I even got into it. I bought like a penny of it just to see what was going on. I ended up losing it all. I lost it all, but not a penny. It was like $1. But I just wanted to see. And Robinhood was like, oh crap, because they don't have unlimited supplies, because unlike other platforms, they let you buy immediately. So since you buy immediately, they have to borrow money, and basically their cash house was going broke. They didn't have any more money. They were broke. So what they ended up doing, in my opinion, I think what they did was wrong, but at the same time, I don't know what else they could have done, right? And it sucks even more for people. Like, I know people who bought GameStop before the thing took off because they just liked GameStop. They just liked the company. It was like nostalgic. And so what ended up happening, Robinhood like just stopped letting people buy the stock. Just said, nope, you can't buy it anymore. You can only sell. Like, literally, it was the buy button was not, it was there, but it was, it was shadowed out, so you couldn't buy it. But you could sell it. So they were forcing people to sell the stock. And what was really dangerous about it, which I think was the thing that made me upset by it, is that it seemed like it was a clash of classes. Like the rich and the billionaires, the hedge fund managers were able to continuously buy it because they were saving their bottom line because they lost so much money that the poorer people or just the retail investors, not poor, but just regular investors like you and I who trade thousands of dollars, not, some millions of dollars, but not billions of dollars, felt like that they were being cheated out, that finally there's an opportunity for them to make money. And the SEC and everyone colluded to just shut us out. And I totally understand that. But at the same time, like, there was no money there. And what are you supposed to do when there's no money? What are you supposed to do? It's fascinating. I'm interested to see how it plays out this week. They put, like, limits on it. Like, you can only buy a certain amount now in Robinhood. I still use Robinhood because I like Robinhood. And the way I invest is I don't invest in the day trading stuff. I use... I just buy ETFs. I put in weekly amounts each month. I'm a very basic trader. But I don't think Robinhood is. It seems like the way Robinhood is designed is not for that. It's designed for more the aggressive purchases, the day trading, the swing trading, and all that. But it was fascinating. It was fascinating to see because I got a little wild with it. I put up Instagram stories. I took some of them down, but I put up like TikTok stuff like. It was because it was frustrating to see because I understand the perspective of both sides. Like one side's like, no, we need money, right? We're literally, my dog went out, shut up. Like we need money. We can't just give you guys all this money. Like we need it. But that's that, guys. I'm gonna let you guys go. I don't know. This is like I think this is a good podcast. My dog just won't shut up and drives me crazy. Yeah, I think that's all I got to say. I'm on the TikTok, Mike R Labs. Go ahead and give it a follow. Go ahead and also follow Riley and Company. That's my doggy's page. We love our dog. Our dog's the best dog in the world, man. She's so cute. We're going to be not exposing, that sounds crazy, but we're going to be showing what type of dog she is because we did a dog DNA test. So... That's that, guys. Thank you so much. I will catch you guys on episode. That guy is shoveling with his mask on. Take your mask off, bro. You're shoveling, man. I'll catch you guys on episode 164, 63. I don't know. Let me guess. I will catch you guys on episode 164. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, do all what you guys do. I'll catch you guys on Thursday. Peace out. See you. Have a beautiful Tuesday and Wednesday. See ya.